on divorce court today. Born with only one kidney, Michael met the love of his life in church, but he says Desiree's intimate demands are painful and caused their fall from paradise. Desiree Etienne and Michael Etienne have brought their dispute for Judge Lynn Toler to resolve. Testimony in divorce court starts now.
Mrs. Etienne, my understanding is you feel that your husband's health issues is really one of the primary difficulties in your marriage. Is that true?
That is correct.
Why don't you tell me what his health difficulties are and why it's such pressure on your marriage?
Well, Michael was diagnosed with renal failure.
Okay.
I found out while he was on the phone with his family that he was actually going into renal failure.
Were you married to him at the time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He didn't tell you?
No, ma'am.
That's why. You found out?
I found out during the phone conversation.
Over a phone conversation. Mr.
Yes.
Etienne?
That ain't true.
Why don't you tell me? Because it's your health issue. So why don't you tell me about the nature of your health issue and what it does?
Start from the beginning of the relationship to actually get to the health issue. Desiree knew from Jump Street about my health. Mm-hmm. Desiree knew, she knew I had issues as far as, you know, like calcium, thyroid. She knew I had kidney problems. I told her, I said, I don't know when everything's going to go downhill, but I said, I'm close. And I told her, I asked her, I said, can you handle this? Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Etienne, did you discuss his health difficulties before you got married?
Yes, ma'am, we did, but I'm referring to the phone call that he made to his sister.
Well, here, let me ask you this. Did you expect and understand that his health would deteriorate over time?
Yes,
yes, I did understand, but I told him that it was my matter of not being ready because he wasn't sure. That meant I wasn't sure. So it interfered with a lot about our relationship.
You met him in church?
Yes, I
You're
did.
10 years older than he is?
Yes, I am.
He had never had a girlfriend before,
that is
correct?
True. That's
so
correct.
You saw him, you picked him out of the crowd,
yes,
you plucked
I did.
him out of the choir, and you took him on home.
Yes.
That's not really what happened.
That's not what happened, but yeah.
Mr. Etienne, you tell me what happened.
Well, you know, the whole thing is correct. You know, we did meet in church, and I'm in the choir stand singing, and I just see these eyes. I feel these eyes looking at me. And I look and boom, she's right there just staring at me with this blank stare on her face. And, you know, I would say like weeks progressed, you know, she would still come to church. Mm-hmm. She did get to me on Facebook. That's how it all started.
Okay, Mrs. Etienne, you say that his family doesn't like you now and never liked you. Is that true?
Correct. That is correct.
Why don't you tell me what your relationship with them is and how do you know they don't like you?
I've never had a relationship with his family due to Michael does not keep my business away from his family.
What do you mean he doesn't keep your business away from his family?
He told his family about my previous divorces and my children and the fact that I was unemployed during the time that we were dating.
So how many previous divorces did you have?
2.
So 2 previous divorces. How many kids do you have?
3.
3 kids, 2 divorces, and no job.
Yes, ma'am.
Couldn't you see their point of view?
Yes, I understood their point of view, but don't hold that against me as to say I'm a bad woman. For one thing, I did have my children, and I was divorced twice, but that's not who Desiree is right now. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of growing up.
See, Judge, you got to know the whole story.
Okay. Mr. Etienne, now listen. I don't want to hear a book.
No, I'll make it short.
Make it short. Tell me the story.
So, you know, when it comes to my family, me and my family are tight. You know, my mom raised us to, you know, family is all you got. And, you know, when I met Desiree, you know, I don't recall the incident, but she came off very nasty. Mm-hmm. So, you know,
I got you. Now, Mr. Etienne, I'm going to throw something out here. And I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm going to throw something out here. You never had a girlfriend before? Never had sex before?
No.
She got to you?
Yeah.
Threw something on you? all the rest of it got foggy. Yes. After all of that, is that what happened to you?
Yeah, that's what happened. You know, people, you know, they told me, well, she got this and she got that, and I was like, well, I really don't care. You know, we were inseparable at the beginning. You know, I just really didn't care.
Okay. While we're on the subject, I might as well just get to it. Mrs. Etienne, a lot of your problem today is that the sex life that you had is no longer available to you as a function of his health issues. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Why don't you tell me what's changed, how it's changed, lightly and gently, and how you feel about it?
Actually, I'm kind of disappointed simply because it was on and popping back then, but once we got into some financial difficulties, we moved in with his family, it started to dwindle, and like it's not picked up since then. Since we got our own place, it has not picked up at all.
So you think it's more a function of where you were staying?
No.
It's a lot of reasons. It's a function of where we were staying. It's a function of his health. It's a function of a lot of reasons. It's also because he thinks I have an attitude problem, and I'm not caring about his illness.
Okay.
And what he has to go through.
You do seem a little chilly about it, I must say, Mrs. Etienne.
And I'm not. I care for Michael more than he knows. I'm when he has to go into the hospital for any reason, I'm right there. When he needs things, I'm right there for him, doing the best as a wife would do to take care of her husband.
We're going to talk about this because I want to talk about what your situation is and how you're going to go forward with that situation, because I do think she's a little cool on that, but we'll see. But I want to talk about that.
Next, living conditions, nasty attitudes, and allegations of infidelity test this marriage. Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Become a fan at facebook.com/divorcecourt. Divorce Court. Real relationships, raw emotion. Testimony continues now.
Mr. Etienne, your wife said earlier that your sex life dwindled after you guys moved in with your family. Do you see that as the problem, or is there another problem with respect to that altogether?
No, I don't see that as a problem. You know, when we did move in with my family, it was like, what, 15 people in one house? Wasn't nobody getting along. You know,
right, everybody was mad.
Yeah, wasn't nobody getting along in the house. You know, everybody was always at each other's throats. And, you know, like, I told her, it was just me. It's my perception, but I didn't want to have sex in my parents' house. Yeah. I just didn't want to do it. But,
once you moved out of your parents' house,
yes,
did your sex life resume?
Kind of. It kind of did.
No.
Kind of. Kind of. I'm not saying it didn't happen.
It did.
It did. It did happen.
Not like it was.
No.
Okay. Why?
Desiree has a very nasty attitude. Desiree knows. She knows. You know, if you're going to come at me and you want to start yelling and screaming, we ain't got nothing to talk about. You know,
give me an example.
This was recent.
Okay.
We were in the car together. We're going shopping. Okay. And she said something to me. I forgot what she said. She made me mad. She got out. I was annoying her, and she got out the truck. She went somewhere, and then she disappeared for 3 hours. I was in the parking lot waiting on her for 3 hours. Desiree on the phone yelling and screaming, you know, well, you need to do this, and you, because that all stemmed from me talking about my health issue. I'm telling her that she wants me to be physically intimate and to have sex and all that, and I can't do it. It's just something with my levels, you know, my blood work. I just can't do it.
So physically you're unable to do it.
I can't do it.
Are you less than understanding about his inability to have as much sex as you'd like?
It's not about the sex. It's about the intimacy. It's about the connection. It is about what is lacking. And when I have told him that, He says, oh, you're just worried about the sex. No, I'm worried about the connection that has been lost.
She says it's more about intimacy than sex. Do you see that?
No, I don't think it's that, because, you know, it's
Oh, my goodness.
my issue. I don't know how to explain it. You know, my doctor explained this to me, but I don't know how to explain
Okay, that's none of my business. No, Mr. Eddie, let me ask you this. Now, here's what I want to know. Do you want the relationship to work?
Yes, I do. I told her, Judge, there's been times I went to my doctor and got medicine to help
with the situation?
Yes, I've gotten medication, and then I have to suffer the repercussions afterwards. I've done that. There's things I've gone out of my way. I've gone out of my way to make her happy in the best way I know how.
Okay, I got you, Mrs. Etienne. Do you see what he's saying over there?
I've been understanding for a while. I have been understanding of him. If I'm upset, it's because I'm his wife, and I feel like I'm being pushed to the back burner.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, he indicated in his response that he feels like you're cheating on him because since you can't get it at home, you've gone elsewhere for it. Is that accurate?
I'm not cheating on him.
Wait.
I have not cheated on him.
What makes you believe that?
Judge, I found text messages, okay? And, you know, look, I found text messages, and I'm sorry. You know, she can tell me all day and all night, oh, these are my friends. But, you know, I got friends, too. There's certain things, there's boundaries between friends. You know, you don't say.
And she's saying things, and they're saying things that are not appropriate for friends.
Yes, she's talking.
I got you, Mr. Etienne, I got you.
When divorce court continues, will anger and the lack of romance lead to divorce?
Is Desiree really sympathetic to Michael's health issues? Call 1-800-282-1991 to vote now and see if America agrees with your opinion. You'll also receive some valuable offers. Call now, 1-800-282-1991.
If you would like your case heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com and join the conversation on Twitter at Divorce Court. Divorce Court continues.
So you say you want this relationship to stay together. You want to keep it.
Yes.
And I understand that you've worked at keeping it by going to counseling. Is that true?
Yeah.
Why didn't that work?
Well, it started off with Desiree first. It did. I told her from the beginning, you know, she was dealing with some stuff in her head. And I knew it. I knew it was from previous relationships. I knew it was. And I knew she was battling stuff within her. I knew that her anger, you know, the way she would talk at me, the way she would just be straight out mean.
Ms. Etienne, are you angry, fussing and fighting, hooting and hollering all the time?
Not all the time.
But sometimes.
But sometimes, because I feel like if I have to tell you something, okay, no, I shouldn't have to kick and scream about me cheating. No, I'm not cheating on him. If I was to cheat, that's a cop-out way. I'm not going to cheat on you and then come home and say, oh, boo-boo, I'm sorry. No, that's just not going to work. I will leave you, and I'll pack up my bags, take the children, and I'm out. Because I don't have to be there, but I feel like if I'm there, treat me as your wife and not as your roommate.
Do you want to save this relationship?
Of course. I love him. If I didn't, I would not be here.
What do you want from him in order to be treated like a wife instead of a roommate? What is he doing or failing to do that crosses that line?
To give me the love that I'm asking for, that I married him for, to show me that he is appreciative of the things that I have done for him, to tell me that he loves me instead of just walking by me and acting like I'm not there. To take my feelings into consideration.
So you want more communication? You want him to talk to you more?
Yes, I want him to talk to me. I want him to come to me and hug me. I mean, it doesn't take nothing to give a hug. You know what I'm saying? Give me a peck on the cheek. That's what I'm asking for.
Are you warm and cuddly with her? Do you give her a little romance? Give her a little
I'm
something?
Guilty of that. I am. I'm not. I don't.
You don't do that?
I'm guilty of that. But, you know, my thing is I told Desiree, you know, when cuddly and you know, getting intimate and then, you know, if you want to have sex, whatever it is, you know, I just feel that I see it as a ceremony. That's how I see it. I see that as a ceremony because when you guys come together, when the husband and wife comes together, I see it as sacred. And, you know...
Listen, I'm talking about giving a woman a hug and a peck on the cheek. We're not talking about an entire, you know, theatrical sexual performance.
That's what I
I'm not
get.
quite
This
sure
is why things happen in the way that they are.
You know what I think stands in the way of that is the fact that, you know, my trust is like not there.
Because you believe she's cheating on you?
Yeah, I do. My trust is not there.
Give me 2 or 3 text messages that she sent or received that makes you feel like she's not faithful to you.
Okay, well, in one of the messages, pictures were exchanged. I disclose what they were, but there was pictures exchanged.
Well, are you exchanging less than clothed pictures with others?
No. There was no pictures sent or received. A face picture, but there was no unclothing pictures in any of those text messages.
I have
Now,
proof.
you said no kind of funny.
I said no kind of funny because there was a face picture of my friend and his son. There was a face picture of the other gentleman.
A face?
Yes.
Just a face?
Just a face.
No other parts?
No.
That ain't what I saw. But the fact of the matter is like, look, I know we got issues. There's things going on. But, you know, you don't sit here and tell another guy that you want to marry him and you know, I'm not happy and, you know, come take me away from this. And then they're responding back, well, you shouldn't have to deal with that. And, you know, my trust
I believe him, Mrs. Etienne.
My trust is not there.
I believe him. And I believe
those texts were there. Those texts were there. But, okay, when I was texting that guy that does not live in this state, he said, I care about you, and he said, in other forms, I'm your friend and I have your back. I want what's best for you and the kids.
Okay, I got you. I think I see what's going on here. I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna tell you what I think you two need to do.
Judge Lynn Toler's ruling next. Divorce Court. Judge Lynn Toler's ruling right now.
Mr. and Mrs. Etienne, I'm going to tell you what I see, what I think you need to do, and then I'm going to roll. Mrs. Etienne, it is hard to be romantic with a hurricane. I think that you have the capacity to be very, very cranky and very, very angry and very, very mean when you do it. I think you plucked this cat out there, he's young, and you kind of thought he would do what you wanted, when you wanted, how you wanted it done. And I think to the extent that he wasn't able to deliver on that, it has made you a little bit angry. I also believe that he didn't make up those pictures. I think they were there. Whether the guy was out of state or not, there are certain things that you don't say to somebody who isn't your husband or your wife. And I think you did that. You got to earn the love you want. You can't just demand it, ask for it, and expect it to be presented to you.
I understand that.
I think this man is ill. I think you're less than understanding about it. I think you don't comfort him well enough. I don't think you worry about him enough. I think he feels that. And Mr. Etienne, what I'll say to you is, if she comes at you with a little more kindness, you need to respond with the romance that she wants, and it's not necessarily a run-up to sex. Women just want to be held and loved and told they're pretty, and we want you to be nice to us. That's all. That's just it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you confused?
No.
Do you have any questions?
Well, how am I... Okay, I understand, you know, about being held and all of that, but when you're constantly coming at me with an attitude...
You weren't paying attention. I just told her to cut that out. I told her you can't be romantic with a hurricane. I told her she had to be more comforting and caring. Didn't you hear me?
Yes, I did. Yes, Your Honor.
In addition to being kissed and loved and being nice to, we need to be heard. So you have to, when we talk, take it in. talk softly and quietly and calmly and lovingly and nicely. He can understand that better than the barking.
I know.
Yeah, barking don't work. I think you can work. You need to, but you need to go first. Because you're older, you need to go first.
I know.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And treat this man well, even when he's not well. Because that's when he needs it the most. This matter is adjourned.
Desiree has vowed to change her behavior, and Michael agreed to give their union a second chance. Post a comment or submit your case at divorcecourt.com or call toll-free 1-877-311-2222. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Divorce Court.